You just can't seem to improve. You want to go to the gym, you want to get a better physique, you want to become healthy, you want to eat clean, but every attempt you do just seems to fail over and over and over again. And then you give up. It seems like every time you try to get on this new path, trying to improve yourself, you end up on a roadblock. That's because who you are right now cannot sustain what you want to become. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is the person you want to become is not the person you are right now. If you are eating junk food, if you don't take care of yourself, that's not the person you want to be. You want to become the person who takes care of himself, who eats clean, who goes to the gym, he has a good physique, he's very healthy. That's who you want to become. And to do the work that's required to become that person, your current self can't handle it. So you need to change who you are before you try to just discipline your way forward into doing these new habits. So if you want to go to the gym, don't try to start by saying, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 4 times a week and just start that way. Because who you are, your self-image right now, your current self-image cannot sustain that effort. They cannot sustain that work. So what you need to do is slowly change that self-image. You have to change your self-image into the kind of person that does exercise, that does go to the gym, who's an athlete, he's very healthy, eats very clean. You have to change your self-image into that. What a lot of people do is they start going to the gym, they get on a diet, and they give themselves cheat days. Right? A cheat day. Now, what's a cheat day? It's like one day a week where they eat whatever they want. Like they eat probably like the most junk food ever, and the rest of the week they are pretty consistent in their diet. That's what they think that's happening. That's what's supposed to happen. But people who eat junk food, people who don't exercise, and like the person that maybe you are right now, but not what you want to be. When you start going to the gym and you set a goal for yourself, okay, 5 days a week I'm going to eat healthy, and the rest 2 I'm going to eat whatever I want. When you set goals like that, when you set yourself cheat days, you're still you're still having that self-image of a person who eats junk food, who's addicted to eating junk food, who's a binge eater, who's not healthy. Because if you saw yourself as a healthy person, if you had a healthy self-image, then you wouldn't be eating junk food. You wouldn't be eating junk food because you think, yeah, I'm an athlete, I'm a healthy person. Why would I be eating junk food? But you still hold on to that self-image of the person who doesn't go to the gym, who's not healthy, and you go eat these cheat days, and you end up not making much progress. You end up taking more cheat days that you actually want. You stop going to the gym as much because you're still trying to build up this new person with your old self-image. Your self-image right now cannot handle the progress and the work that needs to be done to become that next level person, the person who you want to become. No matter what it is, any area that you want success in life, maybe it's in business. Right now, the person you are right now, your self-image cannot sustain that. So now you have to shed that self-image and get a new self-image. How you do that is by building up consistency. You have to keep telling yourself, right? This whole game is about convincing yourself that you are not fat anymore. You are not a binge eater. You are not an unhealthy person. How do you do that? By giving yourself small wins. You can't just tell yourself, "Oh, I'm a healthy person," and then go eat. And then, no, you can't tell yourself you're a healthy person if you just ate some horrible junk food. If you went and ate McDonald's and you come and tell yourself, "Oh, I'm a healthy person," right? Your brain won't believe that. Your brain needs evidence. It needs proof. So what you need to do is start building up small wins. Right? You do 10 push-ups today, and that's a win. It contributes to your new self-image. You have to build it up slowly, your new self-image. Because you need this self-image to be way stronger than the one you have before. That self-image, how do you think it was created? The bad self-image that doesn't go to the gym, who's unhealthy, who eats junk food. It's by slowly building it up. You built it up by eating junk food, by stopping exercise, Like you don't exercise, you just lay down on your bed the whole day. You binge watch TV shows, you eat junk food, and all these small things that they build up your self-image. What you do, your actions build you self. What your actions build you. You are the product of your actions. So you have to make sure your actions are good and your actions lead you towards your goal. Your actions should lead you to what you want to become. So if you want to become a healthy person, you don't start off by wanting to go to the gym 5 days a week because you cannot sustain that. What can you sustain? Can you do 10 push-ups? Maybe you can't even do one push-up. Do 5 knee push-ups. Like do any sort of exercise. Do any sort of like mobility exercise that you don't do. Right? Maybe you don't even go for a run or you don't even walk that much. Go walk for half an hour. Put that in the wins column. Go walk for 15 minutes and give yourself that win. You got to build these up, small wins. When you build up, you start to create your new self-image. Just like how you created your current self-image by binge eating, by like not going to the gym, being unhealthy. Those small habits of eating junk food created that self-image. So now what you have to do is you need to do small habits of improvement, like exercise, of being healthy. So you have to start doing like what 5 push-ups. They do 5 push-ups every day. And that's your win. That's contributing to your new self-image. Slowly, when you start doing that, you are able to do it easier. There's less resistance. So you do 10 push-ups, 20 push-ups every day. You slowly start building it up. Just like when you build a house, you need to build the foundation before you can build the actual house. These small wins, these small habits are the foundation. If you build a strong foundation, when you start going to the gym, you're going to be able to be more consistent. You won't miss days because your self-image will be set as that of a bodybuilder, of an athlete, of someone who goes to the gym, someone who's healthy. If you build this strong foundation, you're so unlikely to go eat junk food or to skip days in the gym. Because when you have that self-image, like you don't want to eat junk food, you don't want to skip a day in the gym because you are an athlete, you are a bodybuilder. You eat clean, that's your self-image. So why would you go and eat junk food if you're the person who eats clean? I see every single person. There's no person in YouTube, I think, almost. No one I've seen who talks about this. They just talk about starting the gym, going to the gym. But you have to build that foundation. That's the next step. You have to build step 0 first. They never talk about step 0, but that's the most important. That's the step on which you build everything else. Your self-image. And by extension, your mental health. Have you ever thought about when you're depressed, when you're not motivated, when you have bad mental health, you can't do any good habits, can you? You can only do these bad habits, binge watching movies, binge watching TV shows. And that kind of helps you feel better when you're watching it, but then after you're done, you just feel way worse than you did before. That's because of this dopamine system. Like, when you're doing something pleasureful, like you binge watch TV shows, you watch a movie, you scroll on social media, your dopamine level rises. If this was your level before, it rises above that. And after you're done scrolling or watching that movie, it goes down and it goes down below the level at which it was before. So now you're in this deficient state, dopamine deficient state, and that causes agitation, discomfort. That's why you want to go and watch more movies, you want to go and watch the next episode. That's why you want to scroll more reels. Because when your dopamine is here, you want to try to get it back up here. That's what your brain wants to do. So, I mean, if you scroll on social media, it'll go back up, right? It will. But later it'll go even further below that. So you're putting yourself in this deficient state over and over and over again. So to fix that, you have to stop doing these dopaminergic activities. Because they're just leading to your depression. And depression and self-image go hand in hand. Because a depressed person has that self-image of a depressed person. So he can't do any work to get out of that depression. If you start building up small wins, right? If you just get outside. If you're someone who just sits in your room, you're so depressed, you always sit in your room. Maybe just go outside for a while. Get some sunlight for like 5 minutes. And say to yourself, yeah, I'm healthy now. I'm becoming more healthy. I went and got sunlight for 5 minutes. I haven't done that before. That's a big win for me. So you slowly start building up those wins. Oh, I did 5 knee push-ups today. I did 30 seconds of plank. So you build these slow, and small wins up, and you build up that foundation. When you build up that foundation, you change your self-image into someone who goes to the gym, who eats clean, who is healthy. So you understand now this is the importance of self-image in your mental health. Because what your mental health is will define what you do. If you have bad mental health, of course you're going to do bad habits. If you have good mental health, and you have no reason to do the bad habits, you have no reason to scroll. Why? Because when you scroll, you're trying to escape reality. When you have bad mental health, reality doesn't seem so good, does it? It's just depression, anxiety. It just doesn't feel good at all. So what we do is try to find an escape by scrolling on reels, or watching movies, and doing drugs for a few people, right? There's so many addictions out there that people use to just escape reality. But it's so important that we have to improve our mental health. And I keep saying this always, you have so much potential. Every human being has so much potential. The social media, all this junk food, the new age innovations like processed food, social media. The internet is not bad. What's bad is social media. Because it gives you frictionless dopamine. What does that mean? It gives you frictionless dopamine. You don't have to work for that dopamine. All you have to do is pull out your phone and press the app. That's like, there's no work in that at all. When you have dopamine without friction, it becomes very dangerous. That's the reason you go into this deficit state. If you have friction before that, if you go through some kind of discomfort or pain before you get this dopamine, right? Back in our caveman days, we used to have to go forage for food. We had to go and hunt and kill a boar if we wanted to eat food. And then when we ate that food, we got that dopamine. But we would not go into a deficit state because we had that friction, that discomfort before. But when we don't have discomfort or friction before, that pleasure, and it's just, you just put yourself in this deficit state, and your brain wants the easiest way possible. Your brain is just trained, your brain is wired to go down the easiest route possible. It wants to avoid friction. That's what our brains want to do. So when we present it this opportunity, zero friction, or basically zero friction, we get as much dopamine as we want. Why would we go to the gym to get dopamine? That is friction. Why would we cook our own food? Can't we just order on Uber Eats? When we give ourselves this frictionless dopamine, you have to understand, you're ruining your life, because to grow as a man, to grow as a human being, you need friction. You need to do work. You need discomfort. Have you heard? Comfort is a killer of man. It's only discomfort. When we experience discomfort, we grow. When we stay in comfort, we just recede. Like our potential as a human being is not even like scratching the surface. Like, we have so much potential, we need to fulfill it, and the only way we can do that is by experiencing discomfort. And you need to, especially nowadays when people are so into social media, like scrolling, and their dopamine levels are so low. We need to build up these small wins, because that's all you're capable of doing. Every single day, you do these small things that build your wins up, and your self-image will start to improve. Because your brain is seeing this proof. Oh yeah, he's doing 10 push-ups. He must be healthy, right? So when you start doing this, like small wins, like it's easier to do 10 push-ups than go to the gym for an hour a day, isn't it? It's so much easier, and because your brain has been trained so much by social media and Instagram, scrolling on reels, to stay away from discomfort as much as possible. You need to retrain it to experience discomfort. When you're at that level, the smallest things feel uncomfortable. Drinking room temperature water seems uncomfortable. I know people like that. They don't drink room temperature water. They don't even drink water. Drinking water feels uncomfortable. You want sugar in it if you want to drink water. I've just been thinking, bro, It's absolutely horrible. Like the dopamine you get from drinking water, for you, maybe it's not enough. You want like lime juice or something with tons and tons of sugar in it, processed drinks. Because the level of dopamine that you get, when you have a good level of dopamine, even small rises in dopamine feel good. But when your dopamine level is so low, like those rises in dopamine feel like nothing. So we must start to do these small habits every single day. Get these small wins, and we have to improve, build that foundation, and then you can start to improve yourself. But don't like every single YouTuber, self-improvement YouTuber, self-help content. They all tell you how to improve, how to implement tactics, don't they? But if you don't have a strong foundation, it will always fail. It will collapse. I've seen it myself. I've been on self-improvement for 2 years. I've been trying to improve myself for 2 years. For almost like 1 or 1.5 years, you know what I did? I've been trying to do all these things without a solid foundation. And I fell into so many ruts where I was doing well and then I fell off. And I was doing well and then I fell off. I was in the depths. I was watching, I was scrolling on Instagram every single day. I was watching TV shows every single day, binge watching them. That's the importance of a solid foundation. And once I started building up that foundation, the last rut I had, I realized I had to build up that foundation. So I slowly started implementing habits, small habits, and they improved me. And now it's been so many months where I've just been going up and up and up and up and up, not a single down. Why? Because I have this foundation and I can keep on building on top of it. This foundation is so strong now that I can just keep building on top more and more and more and more. But if your foundation is weak, like it will collapse. So keep this in mind. You're not at the level, like who you are right now is not capable of achieving what you want to become. So you have to change your self-image. Implement what I told you in this video every single morning. You know what I want you to do? Every single morning after you wake up. Because that's the best way to set a routine, your morning routine. Do 10 push-ups. Or like, do 10 wall push-ups if you can't do a push-up. Any exercise, like just do a little bit of it every single morning. Change your self-image. Just do it. And you will gain success. You will think that like, you're just going to want to implement these self-improvement tactics, and like you're going to say, no, I don't want to listen to this guy. But what I'm trying to tell you is I've gone through this path. Just listen to me. Your brain has convinced you to eat junk food 1,000 times. Right? Are you going to listen to that same brain? I've been through that. I've been through that path and I've come out on top. Right? Now I want to help you. So just turn your brain off and listen to me. Right? When you want success, what you should do is not listen to your own brain. Your brain is not capable of becoming successful. Not yet. So what you need to do is listen to the people. Listen to the brains of people who have become successful and who have achieved what you want to achieve. I have not achieved anything. I have not achieved anything so great or amazing. I've achieved things that ordinary people can't. I've become so consistent in the gym. I'm sitting here recording content for YouTube. I'm trying to educate the world. So that's something, right? That's some win. So you gotta listen to this. You have to start small. You have to start building small habits, and then before you know it, you'll become successful.